All right, so we are on our way to Port Dover today. I'm gonna take the BZ for a little drive, get it down to purposely around 10% so that I can make a video on DC fast charging. It's actually gonna tie into a new video series I'm gonna be doing called EV Stop or Skip. I'm gonna be doing some EV charging station reviews for you guys, so you can tell which stations are good ones to stop at, which ones have great amenities, bathrooms, places to eat, places to walk your dog, places for your kids, that kind of thing. So yeah, taking a little drive out to Port Dover on this beautiful, snowy April Sunday morning. So we made it to Port Dover, took the dogs for a little walk. We're at about 72%, 232 kilometers to go. Got to drive all the way home and probably drive around a little bit to kill some battery. And we were going to stop somewhere special for lunch. We've got that here. We've already eaten a bunch of it. Look at, show how big the bag was. That thing was overflowing. We've already eaten some of it. So this is all from Lola Letty's Kitchen here in Port Dover. My godfather James and his wife Becky and their family own it. Traditional, authentic Filipino food, all from James's mother's recipe book. I remember as a kid, family events at their house or at Lola's house with all of this food, all of her actual recipes. I grew up on this stuff, so it's really cool that they've got a restaurant out here in Port Dover now, so definitely check them out. So this video that I was planning on finishing in one day, turns out I'm not going to be able to. First time with an EV, obviously this is all new to me. I figured a trip to Port Dover and back from Brantford would maybe get us down to around 10%, or close enough that we could maybe just boot around town a little bit and get it down to 10%. We drove all the way from Brantford to Port Dover today and back, and have done some running around in town. And if you want to pan over here, we're only at 50%. So for anybody with range anxiety or anybody that thinks, oh, I'm not going to be able to live my day-to-day life with an EV, yeah, that's completely false. I just drove to the beach and back on half a charge. If I had to go to work tomorrow, I'd plug it in when I get home. It'd be charged up for tomorrow morning. All right, well, welcome back to day two. We're at about 23% now. Just trying to drive around and get it back down to 10. So we'll see you back when we're at 10%. All right, so we are finally almost there. We're at 14%. We are on our way back to the charging station that I'm going to use. I'm not going to reveal it yet because it is part of the EV Stop or Skip series. But what I am going to show you is over here on the screen. So as we're getting closer, I'm going to pull up the vehicle settings, and I'm going to go over here to battery preconditioning, and I'm going to turn this on. And now if you're an EV person, you know exactly what this is. If you're not an EV person, essentially what this is going to do is heat up the battery so that it will charge faster. Batteries obviously like the warmth. Cold is the enemy of a battery. I mean, overheating is also the enemy of a battery, but that's for another story. So this will essentially, it's a little jacket around the battery, and this will start heating up the battery as I'm getting closer to the station so that I get the optimal charging times. Now, if you'll notice on the screen here as well, there's a setting that says battery preconditioning with navigation. That's a cool little feature that if you have the navigation going and you program in that you're going to stop at a charging station, a DC fast charging station, the car will actually turn that preconditioning on for you. So based on how far away you are from the station itself, it will turn on the battery preconditioning just to get that ready to go for you. Traction battery low light comes on at 12%, evidently. That also a slow station there. I would rather use that. Oh, it's a Nissan one. Okay, so I gotta go where those other people are. That's fine, I guess. All right, well, we have finally hit 10%. I've pulled up to my first station to review. This is actually the very first time I'm going to be DC fast charging as well. I purposely did that so that this video is as informative as possible You can see what it's like for a first timer to get this going. So right here, we've got the flow station in front of us. You can see it's got its combination plug there on the left side. That's gonna be the one we use. So this is also going to involve using the adapter so that I can show you that, yeah, you can use anything from CCS to the Tesla superchargers, which I will show in another video. This is a CCS DC fast charger, so that means I'm going to have to use this little bad boy that comes, it doesn't come with the car. You do have to purchase this separately as an accessory, but they are available right from Toyota. And the first thing we're going to do is insert this into the charging port. Just like that. Then we're going to come over here. Alrighty, so as per the instructions, plug the charging connector into the vehicle. Like so. Step 2, pass your access card over the charging station's card reader or use the mobile application to authenticate yourself. Full gun plugged, retrieving vehicle information. Session canceled by the vehicle. Why? Remove the connector and retry. Well, we're not starting off very well here. Initializing. Make sure gun is unplugged. Okay. Excuse me.
It hasn't said anything on the screen yet.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Maybe these two are broken. I don't know. I don't know. You guys have got something on your screen.
Where's this going? Yeah, this one. Well, this one says plug it in, and then it says initializing, but then it says session canceled.
Okay.
Unplug the connector.
Yeah, I like. This is literally my first
time trying. Yeah, mine too.
I picked up a car today. So.
Well, welcome to the EV life.
Exactly.
Let's maybe try the app. The app, you have to make an account, obviously, nice and easy, just like making an account on anything. Shows you all the charging stations around. So I selected this area, selected number AAL00626 in the app, and hit pay, swipe with my credit card, and now it shows, oh, it says now session canceled because probably I took too long talking. So we're gonna go here, we're 626. We're gonna start. Authenticating, plug the connector into the vehicle and press start. Let's do it quick before it decides it wants to time out on us again. Okay. Yours is working? Oh no, mine's making noise too, but it says session canceled. Oh, okay. All right, so charging attempt number 1 with the flow station at the Canadian Tire in Brantford. EV stop or skip. I think it's got to be a skip. I mean, the amenities were pretty good. It was strong. It's got a gas station. It's got a Canadian Tire. You got A&W. You got the mall right over here. It's lining up to be a 10 out of 10, but I mean, not being able to get the charger going either through the app or through the screen, charger's basically unusable at this point. So
you gave it a good 10-minute
try. Gave it a good 10, 15-minute try. We'll come back in a couple days. Maybe these are working again. Interestingly, one of the chargers in this bank seems to be working. So just went into the app after pulling away from the station. It says unusual error. That's unusual. Something went wrong with your charging session. Well, I don't think it's very unusual because the guy beside me also couldn't get his station going. So flow, 0 out of 10 for my first try. All right, so because Toyota was very smart and cares about their owners, they redesigned the 2026 BZ with the NACS port, which means you can use Tesla superchargers. So right beside this flow station is a bank of Tesla superchargers. So we're gonna give that a shot. Shows 11 of 12 stalls available now, which looks like it's a pretty up-to-date number because there's one car here. So already hoping that this works out better. Shows charging fees of 48 cents per kilowatt. So let's hit charge here. We are at 1A. So let's hit 1A Get started. I'm gonna have to like pull up sideways and block a couple spots.
It's not long enough?
No. That's your fault, Elon. So the person that was sitting at the flow station that was working just left while I was trying to fight with the ridiculously short cord on the Tesla supercharger. So we're gonna try the flow station again. Yeah, wasn't on all the way. That work. Pre-charge tests in progress. It's charging. All right, so it is started. Shows that we're at 10%. It hasn't fully started, I guess. It's still, these things, I guess, take a while to initialize. So, like it's been, I'd say 45 seconds. Oh, time elapsed 1 minute. Okay, so it has been charging for at least a minute, and look, we've already gained 1%. We've got 332.2 watt hours added already. And it's showing it's charging me 34 cents per kilowatt hour, I think. So yeah, current charging speed 46. Oh no, that's going up as time. So yeah, so estimated cost so far 51 cents. Charging speed at 46 kilowatts. So it is level 3 DC, but it is only charging at 46 right now. Obviously, the car can charge up to 150 kilowatts. So we'll see how fast this jams it in. So 8 minutes, we've gained 7%, 6.2 kilowatt hours, and it has charged me $2.82. So in terms of amenities, like I said, Canadian Tire. So if you need to pick up anything at Canadian Tire, we all know Canadian Tire's got everything. For anybody watching this that's not Canadian, it's not just tires, it's literally everything. So yeah, you got a Canadian Tire to walk around, go to the washroom, grab whatever you need, just kill some time. Everybody likes to kill time at Canadian Tire. So, side effect of this being my first time ever DC fast charging, I obviously didn't know how much a full 10 to 80 charge was going to cost. So when I loaded my Flow app, I put 15 bucks on it. It was just the first amount. I didn't know if it was going to work, so I just put 15 bucks on it. So the car has used that $15 to charge, but it has gained quite a bit of battery. So I've gone from 10% to 58%. I started 8:13, stopped at 8:59. So 45 minutes. It didn't get from 20 or from 10 to 80 in the half an hour, but that is because, so this charger topped out at about 50 kilowatts. Now the car can charge at up to 150 kilowatts. So yes, it was DC fast charging. Yes, it did it pretty quick. I got 36 kilowatt hours in 45 minutes. According to the car, I'm at 186 kilometers. So I was at about, I think like 20 kilometers when I shut it off. So I've gained about 160 kilometers in 45 minutes. That's not too bad, especially again, considering it's only coming out at 50 kilowatts and it's cold out. It is currently 4 degrees. Feels colder than that. Obviously, it's going to charge slower in the cold. I didn't turn that battery preconditioning on a long time before I started charging, so it probably wasn't fully preconditioned. So yeah, 160 kilometers in about 45 minutes for the current conditions, and the fact that this station's only putting out 50 kilowatts. I would say that's pretty good. I'd be happy with that. Again, most of that time we spent walking around Canadian Tire. There's an A&W over here to go grab something to eat. There's a mall over here. And you got to remember, this is only going to be if you need to charge. If you need to throw 70%, 60% battery in the car on the go. This is only going to be for road trips, longer day trips, that kind of thing. You're going to be charging at home most of the time. So for 45 minutes to gain 160 kilometers range, I can't really argue with that. First time noticing this because it's my first time opening the charger door at night. It's lit. Man, Toyota never fails to impress. All right, so debrief time. That was chaotic. One thing I've learned is I am definitely a better car salesman than a vlogger. But I hope you enjoyed the journey. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series, seeing which charging stations are worth a stop and which of them are just not even worth your time. Obviously, with this one, a lot of the beginning part of that charging debacle was user error, as we can see. So yeah, what turned out to be happening was the adapter was not seated correctly. What I did differently the second time was I plugged the adapter into the gun and then into the car. And that, I guess the angle of that was a little bit more square. And yeah, you can see and hear the click. So yeah, that obviously was the adapter seated properly. And then once I got it into the car after that, no problems. Another side note I did want to mention, the short cords on the Tesla station. Those are only on V1, 2, and 3 Tesla stations. I guess they are now rolling out V4 stations. V4 stations have a retractable 20 meter or 20-foot cord. So this will only be a problem on older Tesla supercharger stations. A lot of the new ones are being built as an island platform as well, so you can pull up on both sides. So yeah, this is something that won't be a problem in the future. It's only a problem on older Tesla superchargers that you find right now. So without further ado, this wouldn't be a ranking. We didn't actually grade these stops. So I'm going to be grading each of these on 3 different categories. So we're going to do amenities. That's going to be things like what's around. Is there anywhere for you to go and spend some time? Is there anywhere for you to go grab something to eat? If you're with your pets, your dogs, is there somewhere where you can take them for a walk while you're waiting? Is there somewhere where your kids aren't going to be sitting in the back seat, getting bored, kicking the back of your seat, wondering when you guys are taking off again? So that's going to be one of the categories. Another category is going to be ease of use, how easy it is to set up an account with their app, how easy it is to get the charging station going, the entire experience. Then the third category is going to be the result. So that's going to be how quickly the car charged, how much power I got into the car. Let's have a look at that for the Flow station at the Canadian Tire in Brantford. So in terms of amenities, we do have quite a few at this station. Like I said, there's Canadian Tire right there in the parking lot. There's lots you can get at Canadian Tire. Everybody needs a trip to Canadian Tire every once in a while. So that is here, that is there in the parking lot. There's also an A&W in that specific parking lot as well. So yeah, you've got Canadian Tire and A&W right there without having to cross a major street or anything like that. Right across the street is Linden Park Mall. So you've got an entire mall. Costco's in that plaza. So you've also got Costco. And then across the street on the other side, you've got a McDonald's and another plaza. There's a lot around in this area of town. So you're not going to be hurting for things to do and things to do to kill time. There is also a lot of grassy area around this Canadian Tire. So for your dogs, your pets, that kind of thing, going to be great. There isn't very much in the way of specific kid-centric activities, but there is a McDonald's across the street. There's the mall, so it's not horrible, but there's nothing specifically for kids. So for this one, for amenities on this station, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So each of these categories is going to be scored out of 10, and then the main score will be out of 30. So keeps it nice and easy. So for ease of use, as you can see in the video, these Flow stations do have a screen, but it is very, very small. It's just a tiny little LCD screen. So it's not very information packed. When there are errors, you don't really know much about it. Same with the warning in the app. It really just said this is unusual. There was no indication as to why the charging wasn't working. I feel like it should be able to at least tell you that, hey, the charger's not seated properly. That should be, if it can sense that it's not seated properly and it's not charging because of that, it should be able to tell you that. Yeah, limited error info. But once all that stuff was ironed out, it was just plug and play and swipe on my phone to pay. But because of all the issues getting it started, again, you got to think of a first-time EV user here. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. It was not a very welcoming experience. And then in terms of the result, like I said in the video, 160 kilometers over 45 minutes, not too bad considering that it was cold outside and I didn't have the battery preconditioned that well. And the station was only kicking out about 50 kilowatt hours. Obviously, that's going to get better if you use a Tesla station or something that has a higher output. But again, I wasn't upset with this, and this is very definitely manageable. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10 for the result. So if we are going out of 30 for these three categories, we get a total score of 18 out of 30, which is a 60%. So you know what? It just made it over, and other than the ease of use, being a new user, it wasn't a poor station. It worked, it had amenities, and it got a decent result. So 60%, I would say, is a stop. I would use this one. I wouldn't skip it if you were on a road trip and you happen to be passing through Brantford. This one's nice and easy to get to. It's right off the 403 at Wayne Gretzky Parkway. So super easy, central in town. So if you're a resident of Brantford, nice and easy to get to. Chances are you're going to the mall every once in a while anyway, or Canadian Tire. So it's not out of the way. It's in a good spot. So yeah, I would say a pass, a stop at 60%. Pretty good result for this one. So stay tuned for the next episode in this series. I'm going to be picking out different stations around town. As always, thank you for watching. My name is Dan here at Brantford Toyota.